You are at a party. The music is loud enough that you have to lean in to hear anyone, and you have been standing near the same corner for 40 minutes, holding the same drink, hoping no one notices you are not really drinking it. Someone walks toward you, and your stomach drops, not because you dislike them, but because you know what is coming next. Small talk. And small talk feels like a test you did not study for. Now look at the person next to you. They are also standing alone, but they are scanning the room. They look nervous. Their shoulders are tight. They keep checking their phone, then putting it away, then checking it again. They are not avoiding conversation because they prefer silence. They are avoiding conversation because they are afraid of being judged. Two people, same corner, same party. One is an introvert. The other has social anxiety. And here is the thing most people get wrong. They think these are the same thing. They are not. So how do you tell the difference? And more importantly, why does it matter? Because the way you understand yourself changes the way you treat yourself. If you think you have social anxiety but you are actually an introvert, you might spend years trying to fix something that was never broken. And if you think you are just shy, but you actually have social anxiety, you might keep pushing yourself into situations that quietly drain your spirit. There is a hidden difference between the two, and once you see it, you will never confuse them again. Stay with me, because this is the part where your own experience starts to make sense. Let's go back to that party for a moment. You are standing in the corner, and you feel that familiar tension in your chest as someone approaches. But ask yourself, what exactly are you feeling right before they speak? If you are an introvert, what you feel is a kind of quiet resignation. You know this conversation will cost you energy. You know you will have to reach for words, maintain eye contact, and pretend to be more engaged than you actually feel. It is not fear. It is a prediction. Your brain has learned from experience that social interaction, especially in a loud room with strangers, is a net loss of energy. So you brace yourself, not because you are terrified, but because you are conserving. Now imagine the person next to you, the one with social anxiety. What they feel in that same moment is not resignation. It is alarm. Their brain may not predict a loss of energy. It may predict a threat. They are not thinking, I wish I were home reading a book. They are thinking, what if I say something stupid? What if they notice I am sweating? What if they think I am weird? Their body is already in a low-level fight or flight response before a single word has been exchanged. This is the first hidden difference, the motivation behind the avoidance. For the introvert, avoidance is a preference. You choose the corner because it feels better than the center. You are not running away from something. You are moving toward comfort. For someone with social anxiety, avoidance is a compulsion. They are not choosing the corner. The corner is choosing them. Because the moment they consider walking into the center of the room, their nervous system says danger, and they obey. This is where the confusion starts, because from the outside both people look the same. Both are quiet. Both are standing alone. Both seem to be avoiding conversation. But one is resting, and the other is surviving. And here is the painful part. Many people with social anxiety grow up thinking they are just introverts. They tell themselves, I am just shy, or I just need more alone time, and they keep pushing themselves into social situations, trying to recharge like an introvert would. But it never works. Because you cannot recharge from something that feels like a threat. You can only survive it. Meanwhile, many introverts are told they have social anxiety. Friends, family, Even therapists sometimes look at a quiet person and assume there is something wrong. They say, you just need to get out more, or you need to face your fears. But the introvert is not afraid. They are just selective. And being told to fix something that is not broken creates a different kind of damage. It makes you doubt your own nature. But what if I told you there is a simple psychological framework that explains this difference? Let me show you how. They might say, that was nice, but I need a day to recover. They feel a sense of relief when they finally close the door behind them. After a social event, someone with social anxiety feels exhausted and ashamed. They replay conversations in their head. They analyze what they said wrong. They feel a gnawing sense that they failed some invisible test. They do not just need to rest. They need to quiet the voice that says, you should have done better. This is the hidden cost of confusing the two. If you are an introvert and you think you have social anxiety, you will treat your need for solitude as a symptom. You will try to fix it. You will push yourself into more social situations, believing that exposure will cure you. But all that happens is you burn out because you were never afraid. You were just wired for a different kind of life. If you have social anxiety and you think you are just an introvert, you will never address the real issue. You will keep avoiding, but you will call it a preference. You will stay in the corner, but you will not understand why your heart is racing. You will not realize that your brain has learned a pattern of fear that can be unlearned. The difference matters because it changes what you need. An introvert needs permission to be quiet, to leave early, to say no without guilt. They need to stop apologizing for their nature. Someone with social anxiety needs something different. They need to understand that their fear is real, but it is not permanent. They need strategies to calm the nervous system, not just excuses to hide. They need to learn that the corner is not a safe place. It is a cage they built for themselves. But here is the most important thing. Neither of these experiences is a flaw. Both are adaptations. The introvert learned to protect their energy because the world was too loud. The socially anxious person learned to protect their heart because the world felt unsafe. Both made sense at some point. Both were survival strategies. The question is not whether you're broken. The question is whether your strategy is still helping you or quietly holding you back. And that is the realization that changes everything. Because once you understand the difference, you stop treating yourself like a problem to be solved and start treating yourself like a person who needs the right conditions to thrive. So here is the honest truth. You have probably spent years wondering which one you are. Maybe you have taken online quizzes. Maybe you have read articles. Maybe you have sat in a therapist's office and said, I do not know if I am just quiet or if something is wrong with me. And that uncertainty, that not knowing has probably cost you something. It has made you second-guess your instincts. It has made you push yourself into situations that felt wrong. It has made you apologize for needing space when you were not even sure you deserved it. But look back at that party, the corner, the drink. You were not really drinking, the person walking toward you. That moment of tension in your chest. Now you know what it was. If it was resignation, if it was the quiet awareness that this would cost you energy but you could handle it, that is your introversion speaking. And it is not a flaw. It is your brain's way of honoring its own limits. It is your internal wisdom saying, this is not my favorite way to spend an evening, but I can survive it. If it was alarm, if it was that sudden rush of heat in your chest, that voice saying, they are going to see right through you. That is your social anxiety, and it is not a weakness either. It is a protective mechanism that learned to keep you safe in a world that felt unpredictable. It just overstayed its welcome. Neither is a diagnosis that locks you into a label. Both are just ways your mind learned to navigate a world that did not always feel made for you. The difference matters because it changes the story you tell yourself. And the story you tell yourself is the most powerful thing you have. It determines whether you wake up each morning feeling like you need to fix yourself or like you need to understand yourself. So here is the reframe. If you are an introvert, stop treating your quietness like a problem to solve. It is not. It is a preference. It is a boundary. It is a way of moving through the world that values depth over breadth. You do not need to become louder. You need to stop apologizing for being selective. If you have social anxiety, stop treating your fear like a permanent part of your identity. It is not. It is a pattern, and patterns can be rewritten. You do not need to become a different person. You need to teach your nervous system that the corner is not the only safe place. And if you are both, which many people are, then you are navigating a double challenge. You need solitude to survive, but solitude can also become a hiding spot. You need to know when you are resting and when you are retreating. But here is the gentle truth that no one tells you. You do not have to have it all figured out right now. You do not have to know exactly where the line is. You just have to start paying attention. You have to start asking yourself, am I resting or am I hiding? And then being honest enough to answer. That is the quiet work. That is the work that changes everything. And if this helped you understand yourself a little better, you are welcome to stay with us for more quiet psychology. Explain gently. Because there is a reason you feel this way, and you deserve to know what it is.